Hello, everybody. So last time I basically just did the Angular upgrade, and so this time and the reason I did the Angular update last time was because I figured, oh, okay, I need to move into the meshes and out of the animation section, and since I'm doing that, I can um, I can uh, I would it would be a good time to do the upgrade. Um, So now the next thing was to basically make it to where it was up to the user to decide whether a mesh is animated or not animated. So that was pretty straightforward, and the way you do that is now the user can do that here. So they can say, hey, this is an animated mesh. So I named all the meshes out, and I have left eye, right eye, mouth, and all that. So like right now, mouth A, I believe it's animation or Annie is animated. So I'm gonna unanimate that, and then the basically I'm just gonna make the whole face animated. I have no idea what this is gonna look like, but uh, so yeah, that's the face slowly going away and leaving its eyes and mouth and nose behind. Um, probably be fun to maybe go have the left eye animating in and out. Whoop. I just got one eye just for a second. So, anyways, I think it's like sort of like there's like kind of two things that when you're trying to build like a tool like this, and that honestly, this is the first time I ever built a tool like this. So, um, to me, it seems like there's like sort of two things that you should probably try to do on a regular basis. And one is create sort of an emoji kind of thing, and two is create like a clock type, some sort of t- countdown kind of thing. And I was trying to think of how to do a countdown last night, and I think if I were to set the camera over where everything ends, I could then set things at different lengths and stuff like that, and kind of get that to work. But like, and so let me just kind of just show you, like, if we go to the camera and you can kind of see what's happening if it doesn't quite make sense to you. Like if I change this to a 5 and then change my Z position to 0, then oh, that was not what I wanted to change. 0. I wanted to change the actual position of the camera to 5. So you can kind of see that the mesh is just sort of leaving. So now let me change my Y position to 5. So we'll be in front of it, and then you can see what's happening from this angle. That basically the ball is starting over, and then if we go into animations, I can pause it, and then you can kind of see what's happening. Whoop. So, anyways, I think that isn't the coolest thing in the world, but it is like shows what the option, like sort of potential of what we can do. And then like if somebody was like truly gifted artist, they could probably do a lot with this. But right now, all you can control is the X, and you can only control the starting position of the X. Um, there's not a whole heck else. There's nothing really else you could do with that. So like I guess we could play with that a little bit before I go on to show what the code is, because there's just not a lot of code um, for this. So right now the X is at 0. So like let's say we made the X 5, and then we just go back to animations and turn them back on. Oh, I just moved the nose. So that was not what we wanted to do. Move that to 0. We're going to take the animated mouth and move it to 5. And then turn the animations back on. And you see how they just leave it. They never go in. So it's not a lot of code to this, but as I've learned as doing part of this video series, I first thing to do is update the interface, and I added Boolean to animated, and then the next thing I do is I go and that broke all kinds of stuff, as to be expected because it's a required field according to TypeScript. So I had to fix it in here, and then I basically just blindly copied the pre-existing code, form value animated. Like this is like stuff that any zombie developer could easily do, and like it's a great thing to do on a Friday when you just don't feel like thinking. Just copy and paste a bunch of stuff and watch it magically work. Definitely no disrespect there to anybody. Then I added the form, so that's what this is, the check down here. So this is Angular material, and basically I imported the checkbox, or the checkbox was already imported because it was here for cast shadows, and then this is just how you do the Angular material stuff. It's basically very well documented on their website. And then we already went over this, and then in the 3JS inside the animation callback, I just updated. Okay, so I had to make a change. So before, what was happening was I would calculate the mesh item in and pass it to the update mesh for time functions. So there's like basically, are we paused? Are we not paused? If we're paused, update the mesh for the pause time. If not, update the mesh for the elapsed time. We kind of had a little bit of code duplication there, so this was a good thing. But basically, I made it to where the mesh item is retrieved up, before, and then gets passed in. And that's because I needed the mesh item to determine if it was being animated or not. If a mesh was being animated. So if it's not being animated, ignore it. But if it is being animated, then process it. So that's good. And basically that was the trick to making that work. And I think it's cool. I'm really happy with the progress and what I can do here. And I did want to mention that I am starting to, I honestly did not expect this, but I'm starting to see a lot of like really nice comments from people, and really nice and stuff like that, and people like subscribing and saying that they hitting the like button and stuff like that. And honestly, like, I'm not asking you to subscribe or like it or anything like that. I'm just expressing how much I appreciate that, because I honestly am surprised at what a good feeling that is when you get that. I guess you don't want your highs to be too high and your lows to be too low. So I guess I don't want to get too fixated on that. This is really more about helping myself and other people learn how to do these things, and and how to code stuff, and kind of be more focused on the practical aspects of coding, as opposed to and maybe where the practical aspects, maybe a bit of commentary on my part, where the practical aspects of coding are vary from sort of the theoretical ideas that are out there, especially in like sort of big corporations. But I don't I'm really, like, I could tell you that the majority of videos that ever helped me really level up my skills had very, very few watches. So I've never really thought that the number of watches that you get, and the number of likes that you get, and the number of nice comments that you get are related to how good and useful and helpful a video is. So I really was never expecting this. So I'm probably doing a horrible job of expressing my appreciation, but thank you. I really appreciate it. And I am right at 10 minutes. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.